All right, what's up, everyone? I took a loss yesterday. I forgot to do the trade recap video. I took it with 5 micros, lost around 440 in all 5 accounts. Still doing pretty good on the week, up 500 in each account. Um, yeah, tough day yesterday. The trade was a short around 9:45. It was something like this. And immediately after getting in, went straight to stop loss, which always sucks. But let me erase everything, kind of show you guys what I was looking at. First of all, on the 4 hour time frame, or I mean, even on the daily, we're at this supply zone that we've been touching for over a week now, which is actually very sad. But here you go. This is the 4 hour supply zone. I should actually put this on replay mode. Let me see where I was. Okay, around this time. Actually, nope. It's this candle right here. Okay, so yeah. And then I also had this demand zone marked, 4 hour demand zone, which, I didn't take a trade off of it, but I thought it was important. The really important one was this 1 hour zone over here, which normally I don't mark zones that have already been ran through unless the market respects it, you know, afterwards. For example, here you can see it broke through and we were rejecting 50%, which I really liked, so I put in the zone. And I think that was it for the trade that I took. Come over to market open right here. First of all, this should have been my first hint to not even take the trade, was this first 15-minute candle. I always measure the first 15-minute candle, the range of it, and almost always when the range is less than 200 ticks, the rest of the day is going to be slow and it's going to be just you already know it's gonna be very frustrating to trade. So right off the bat, I think this should have been kind of my first hint to either kind of wait more or I don't know, be more patient. Whatever it was, this should have told me something right off the bat. Um anyways, I waited and waited, and then boom, I had a 5 minute candle close outside of the opening range and below 50%. And it was also below one of my support and resistance lines, which I should have marked for you guys. I think it was around here. Something like this. Okay. Yes. So this 5 minute candle closed below one of my white lines, which is support and resistance. Usually, when I see this, what I want to see is the next candle open, retest the white line or even 50%, and then reject it. At the time, the candle looked like it did that. So I remember, actually, did I get in on this one? I'm trying to remember. Yes, I did. Okay. So at the time, when this 5 minute candle was forming, it opened up, and then, like I said, it retested kind of this area here, and then it went to break these lows. So as soon as it broke lows, I went in short, aiming for the next area of interest, which for me was a 4 hour demand zone. Okay. So this is kind of what my trade looked like. I went in with 5 micros, and my stop loss was above 50%, which is pretty wide. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm thinking about it as risk to reward ratio. If my risk to reward ratio is above, 1 to 2, then it's fine. And also, 5 micros allows me to have that wide stop loss. So yeah, immediately lost, and it's like I knew I was gonna lose too. Like as soon as I got in the trade, I was like, why did I get in? Because it immediately went to my stop loss. My bad. My alarm rang. But another thing that kind of was another hint to not take the short was I was looking at Bookmap, and before I got in the trade, in order of it was over 800 contracts was sitting around. I remember it was around here, or at 420 actually, and it was around 800 contracts, which if you don't know, it's a bunch of orders. And as you can tell, basically as soon as they popped in, market went straight to get those orders. So that was also kind of another hint of, damn, I should have waited, because I literally, like, it's like shoulda, coulda, woulda. You guys know how it is to take a loss, and then when you look back at it, it's like, oh, I could have done this, I should have done that. For me, it's always like that, but I try to, instead of looking at it so negatively, I'm just like, okay, next time I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Try to keep that positive view on things. But don't get me wrong, it's hard. And yesterday was, I mean, it was a very hard day to trade. Also, I want to explain a trade that I kind of wanted to take after this, which was this 15-minute supply zone right here. It's very small, but on the 5 minute, you can see it's also a supply zone there. So normally I don't take trades off of 15-minute supply zones, but what my thinking was that if we faked out going down, then most likely we're gonna continue going up. So after this, I was like, okay, if the longs continue, the only way I'm gonna take a long is if we break above my 50% line, right? And then I would aim, the trade would have looked something like this, or even up here, you know, and that would have gave me a good risk to reward ratio. So I waited, and then as you can see, we ended up tapping into the zone eventually. Let's see. Yeah, eventually wanted to go in long, but as you can see, as the 5 minute candles were approaching 50%, they started to get smaller. Usually when you're looking for a breakout, you want to see the 5 minute candlesticks that are approaching close off strong. These candles were slowing down and they were closing down weak, so eventually took a short back down to this 50% area. I didn't take this short. I didn't feel comfortable taking trades within the range. I don't know, it's not my thing. I don't know. I mean, before, obviously, when I didn't have my, A plus strategy, I would take whatever. Now, though, I'm more focused on taking the A plus setup that I usually see, that I usually take, that usually works for me. Um, and I mean, geez, the rest of the day was very, I would say, just very misleading, very choppy. If you traded this, I promise you, it was probably a stressful day. You know, this is typical Trump price action. Like, everyone hyped him up, and now that he's in office, it's like, it's not giving. Like, it's really not. Some days it is, don't get me wrong, but I feel like most of the days it hasn't been it. Like, it hasn't been it. I'm hoping that over the summer, though, it's like last year's summer. Like, I don't know about you guys, but last summer I remember trending days back to back, like crazy days back to back. So I'm hoping this summer is like that, but nobody knows. I mean, looking at this price action this past week, it's been over a week now where we had this crazy move and the market doesn't know what to do. So it's a bit stressful, but the best thing to do is just take it slow and be patient for your setup. Be patient for I don't know, be patient for a good market, because the markets lately have just been very, very sad. But anyways, if you want to trade live with me, the link is below. If you want to get on calls with me, the link is also below. And thank you guys for watching.